And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
I don't want you to protest, I don't want you to riot, I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being, God damn it! My life has value!
Get together, have a few laughs.
All of us to step up. You know, the climate deniers are really in some ways similar to all of those almost 400 law enforcement officers in Uvalde, Texas, who were waiting outside an unlocked door while the children were being massacred. They heard the screams, they heard the gunshots, and nobody stepped forward.
That was former Vice President Al Gore speaking on Meet the Press about climate change. And this is an episode about the debacle of Uvalde Police Department in Texas.
With the Robb Elementary school shooting that was...
Yeah, but we just wanted to throw this in here because Al Gore is a freaking idiot. What a complete moron to even make that comparison.
Yeah,
that is some mental gymnastics.
The first thing that I do want to say is that a whack job. One video I did see shot at two people as they were looking or like going to check on him because he crashed his vehicle.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I saw, and they started running away.
Yep.
And then him go into a classroom, and I was just like, I don't really care.
I watched what they released. They cut out the screams and stuff. It was pretty horrific. The first thing I want to say, though, is welcome to Iowa Talk Guys podcast.
There we go.
I'm Teepee.
And I'm Theo.
And we're here talking about Uvalde Police Department and the terrible, terrible incident that happened under Joe Biden's watch as president.
Well, my first thought is that it's another tragedy.
It is a tragedy. I'm just joking. I can't really blame this on President Biden, but you know,
right.
The other side, some people blame the other former president for all types of dumb stuff. So I just figured I'd jump on that bandwagon of blame the president for everything. Anywho, you all right?
Then my next thought is that Al Gore is a complete and utter fucking idiot.
I'm here to educate you about the single biggest threat to our planet. You see, there is something out there which threatens our very existence and may be the end to the human race as we know it. I'm talking, of course, about Man-Bear Pig.
Man-Bear Pig?
It is a creature which roams the earth alone. It is half man, half bear, and half pig. Some people say that Man-Bear Pig isn't real. Well, I'm here to tell you now, Man-Bear Pig is very real, and he most certainly exists. I'm Cereal. Man-Bear Pig doesn't care who you are or what you've done. Man-Bear Pig simply wants to get you. I'm Super Cereal. But have no fear, because I am here to save you. And someday, when the world is rid of Man-Bear Pig, everyone will say, "Thank you, Al Gore. You're super awesome." The end.
I mean, you have to be a moron to make that association. You have to be,
like I said, the mental gymnastics that you had to go through to make that connection between climate change deniers and the Uvalde Police Department's inaction is just completely and utterly stupid.
He knows what he's doing. I'm not saying he's an idiot that way. I'm saying that he is lying to such a degree that he's stupid. He's an idiot.
Well,
because why do you have to lie like that?
here's the sad thing: is there's idiots out there that believe him.
It's pitiful. It's stupid.
It is what it is. It's the nature of the human beast.
No, this is a wake-up call of, hey, we just learned your police department. You'll find out. You'll find out when it happens if your police department is ready to act.
Yeah, how terrible is that?
And it could be an hour.
Or more.
We have a new, or more. We have a new...
I mean, that's utterly...
We have a new sort of barometer.
I would really hope that would not happen in our community. But you never know, dude. I mean, years ago, there was a man in a subway stabbing attack in New York City. You remember that? And the police were literally outside of the train car watching it happen and didn't go in and save him. And the guy ended up killing his attacker. But still, he suffered like 40-something stab wounds and lacerations all over his body. And
how'd he kill him?
I don't know. Fought him off somehow.
Jesus.
But he ended up suing the New York Police Department and lost because the police department are not there to protect and serve you.
Yeah. There was another one actually out of New York, believe it or not.
Shocker.
Yeah, shocker. That I believe it was a horrific murder rape of a young lady who called the cops, and it was apparent there was a young lady being raped, murdered type of situation, and nobody responded for a long time, and it wasn't apparently a priority. So it went all the way to the Supreme Court in New York, and I want to say that the verdict was that the police that ultimately aren't responsible for your safety if something goes awry,
And that's just terrible. And I would really hope in our community that our police would have a different response, a different reaction. And I personally know police officers that I know would not have that reaction where they're like, oh, you want me to stand down? I don't give a crap. You know what I mean? And there was one officer.
I don't know. Wouldn't you think there would be some on the Uvalde Police Department? I mean, you're saying
there was, and his daughter was getting killed, and he was being held back by his fellow police officers.
But you're saying that guys that would go in there. How do you know? I don't know. Well, there's a guy whose daughter's getting killed.
Yeah, that's true too. And unfortunately, and that's the other crazy thing is this is in Texas where they're so proud.
Yeah.
And, I'm a Texan. Nothing against you Texans. Yeah. I love you all, but
if
holy crap!
Texans
I know a lot more
Much
Texans.
Love
no,
from Iowa.
I actually know some Texans that have some big ass balls. Right?
I mean, hey,
they had surgically
hard people settled their land.
No, yeah, they did
flat out.
They did
all of it.
You're right. Remember the Alamo, but that's what really disappoints me is that this was in Texas and that this.
It's.
I mean, it really disappoints me that happened anywhere.
It's an anomaly, that's for sure. I mean, it's like, and you would think if something like this happened, you would think, okay, yeah, it makes sense, in Houston,
right?
God forbid this were to happen anywhere else, but a border town like South Texas, right?
Yeah,
you would think
I would see something like a cartel doing something like this rather than some
shit. Yeah,
some kid who apparently was on medication. He was a transgender. He was going through a rough time on antidepressants.
So,
I mean, which is, hey, you know what? That's a very common thing in a lot of these shootings is antidepressant medication.
I know it was with the Columbine shooters.
And it was with the Sandy Hook shooter. It happened when Joe, Sandy Hook happened when Joe was vice president, right?
Obama.
Oh, blame you.
The God King.
Yeah, like Jamie Foxx.
Xerxes Bama.
Let's thank our Lord and Savior. Yeah, I don't agree with you, Jamie. I think you're wrong. Dead wrong. Anyway. But yeah, it was very... And then to be even more just absolutely shocking, you find out later that the chief of police that was on scene, quote unquote, did not know. Oh, hold on. The chief of police, Pete Arredondo, right? You heard of him? He took off both of his radios and said he made the wrong decision, told the Tribune he believed the carrying radios would slow him down as he entered the school and that he knew the radios did not work in some school buildings. And he did not issue any orders. He called for assistance and asked for an extraction tool to open the door.
I don't know what protocol is.
He didn't, the chief of police didn't think he was in charge during the school shooting.
He didn't think he was in charge during the school shooting?
How absolutely absurd. Yeah, that'd be like you at work, okay? And some government authority comes in, or whoever, and says, hey, who's in charge here? Who are all the employees going to point to? Your supervisor.
The chief.
The chief, right?
Yeah.
So, and
I think that's what a chief
I know that there's people in the industries, working in factories and other industries and stuff, that'd be like, yes, I'm the one in charge here. What's up? Right? What do you need? But in this situation, you have the chief of police
leaving his communication tools somewhere.
Not communicating with his team. Calling for an extraction tool to open a door that was already open, that the gunman already went through. You didn't think to try to the knob first. I went through some close quarter battle training, and guess what they say? And guess what? Also, I was a combat engineer, so that was one of our specialties was breaching, okay? And that's one of the very first things that they teach you in a breaching class. Make sure the door is not locked. The first thing you do before you blow it up is you see if it opens. Okay? I mean, you don't want to do the...
Makes sense.
Right. I mean, hey, how embarrassing would that be? Yeah, let's get this charge on this door, and then somebody just comes walking out of it. Oh, oops. That's embarrassing. Anyway, this whole thing was completely handled ridiculously wrong. And the really sad part is remember, Erock sent us that Facebook link to the Uvalde Police Department's website where they took the picture down because of all the comments of like a year ago, where there was about 12 or 13 members of the SWAT team from Uvalde that just completed, and apparently it was in that same exact school, which another scenario happened in Sandy Hook, where they had just completed a school shooting training.
Imagine that.
It's so wild. And then they did not respond in the manner that they were even trained in. That's just sickening. I mean, and then parents were arrested trying to enter the school to go save their children. Not arrested, but put in handcuffs. They're restraining parents.
I mean,
this is for your own safety.
Arrested.
But screw your children. Yeah,
that's arrested,
and that's illegal. I mean, that's
if you're in handcuffs, you're arrested.
Well,
I don't care what the law says.
Or abducted.
Yeah, there you go.
If you want to go that route.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you force this person against their will into handcuffs. I don't care. Especially like,
if I were to just do
that, we're doing this for your safety. Screw your kids.
If I were to somehow do that to you right now, which I don't know. I'd try. That'd be fun to try. You and me getting in a ring, and one of us trying to get handcuffs on the other one.
That'd be weird.
That would.
I'm pretty sure we wear each other out.
But yeah, if I was to get you in, I mean, that'd be a criminal charge. If I was to,
that would be assault, brother. Yeah, that's assault.
No, not assault. If I got you into handcuffs, if I bound you,
well, you had to force me into it first, right?
Bound
so
you.
Those officers physically attached themselves, their hands on to their person.
There you go.
To have to do that's assault. In I don't care, in any country, that's legal assault. Right?
I don't know. But I mean, don't put your hands on people.
Yeah, you touch me or in the workplace, at the very, that's sexual assault. If it was, unwanted physical contact in the workplace, right? They weren't working together, though.
Wanted.
Either way.
Physical contact in the workplace is always better. Consensual physical contact in the workplace.
Yeah, they weren't at wrestling practice.
Always consent when you guys are doing
So, and then the more information that comes out since this has gone on, since this has happened on May 24th, okay? The Uvalde Police Department has been very reluctant to want to release information. From some articles I've read, there's some officers that don't remember the timeline, which that I understand. Okay, I can relate to that because I've witnessed that firsthand. We're in firefights, Marines in firefights, and not that none of them. These guys were all on point with their stuff, and they did exactly what they were trained to do and all that. But some of them had missing time. They didn't remember where they were at certain parts. They remember certain things happening, but not quite. Me, fortunately, I had the ability to, I remembered all the timeline through the whole, everything that happened and stuff. So I actually had guys, when we were doing after-action reports, guys come up to me asking me, like, hey, man, you remember where we were at here? And I was like, oh, yeah, you were over here, yada, yada, yada. So, under that high-stress environment, that stuff going on, especially you're hearing kids screaming, gunshots going off, I could see where there would be officers that would have that missing.
Sure.
I don't remember, but
they're not Marines in Afghanistan, right?
Right. But at the same time, also, they had body cams. All these guys were equipped with body cams. Well, not all of them, but the majority of them were, right? And then there's also video from all the stuff going on. So, like, they've been through interrogating people. You think they would know, hey, these guys have me on video. Maybe I should just be honest with them. I don't know.
That'd be a good idea.
I don't know. I'm just saying, dude. There's a lot of very
the
fishy
Punisher
things
guy. He had a
checking his cell phone.
Yeah, Punisher logo on it.
Probably telling his wife, "Baby, I love you." Probably not coming home tonight.
I don't know what is up with that logo. Like dudes, just having that logo.
Oh, especially
all over the place.
Yeah. Hey, man. I like it when the guys, the military guys, are the guys that never served in the military, have them and stuff. And
yeah, like.
Because there's like sniper units and other like SF units that I've seen use that, that makes sense. Because you guys are out there actually doing,
I guess, sure. I don't know. If you like the logo,
not necessarily you're
take
punishing.
It and use it how you want it.
But those guys are actually out there smoking people.
Yeah, I just think like, I don't know. For that reason, like, not having done that stuff.
Right.
And using that logo in that way because of, firearms.
Right.
And really glorifying it and whatnot. Yeah.
Glorifying death?
I don't. I can't think of a single Punisher logo thing I have. I'm sure there's one somewhere just on like something I don't know about.
Hey man, whatever sells, right? We'll make some Punisher stickers. Just joking.
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Why not? Oh, kidding. We're gonna put Theo across the top of him.
No Punisher.
No, all right. Well, I get it if you're a fan of the comic, maybe. Maybe you're a super nerded fan. But
I guess is
either
it a
way,
comic? I don't know. I've never been into comics ever at all.
I started getting in, and this is off topic tangent. Started getting in the Marvel universe. I got through like maybe phase 2 or something. Whatever Doctor Strange movie was.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Dude, I was so over it. I get it. You guys have superpowers. That's neat. Meanwhile, there's real stuff going on in the world.
Sure,
that requires not my attention, but I think people should be aware of it. Once again, you people listening to this show, while we're doing this show,
paying attention to different things. We're talking about, we're hard to follow a lot of the times, but you get our point, right?
I don't think we're that hard to follow.
We're thinking about.
If we're not, hey,
we're thinking about stuff different.
Give us tips. Yeah, we've been talking about this stuff and going over this stuff for so long.
At times.
Anyway, further throughout the investigation, the Uvalde Police Department have just been basically trying to prolong this as much as they possibly can. It seems like to me. That's
it's unfortunate. Yeah, without
really
knowing too much about it.
Yeah. And I bet the entire department, I agree with Al Gore, they're probably all climate change deniers, dude.
Yeah. I don't think that was his point.
No, it wasn't his point, but that's why we started with this, because that's just stupid.
That's just how absolutely ludicrous it is.
Yeah.
First of all, who believes that?
Yeah,
who believes that?
The whole Uvalde Police Department that climate change deniers are
like the
cowards.
400, like the 400 Uvalde Police Department.
And I can't say all of them are. Just those ones that enacted there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I'm not going to blame an entire police department for the failure of half of them or whatever it was that was out there.
Massive tragedy, and it sounds preventable because you'd think that people would just go into.
It could have, dude. I mean,
a school and try to kill somebody if they could and risk their life to make sure that another classroom of children didn't just get wiped out.
And going back to what I said is I know some police officers that would go in there, and I actually just had a conversation a few weeks ago with a guy at my gym. Actually, I've known him before he was a police officer. Great dude. Good dude. Know his family.
So you've talked to him about this?
I talked to him about this.
Oh, my God. This is brilliant. Goodness, this is brilliant. Yeah,
okay. Well, and he said he just got done with doing a school shooting scenario, and he said, you know what? He said, I'm not going to say anything against those guys, but he goes, me being a police officer, and he goes, and I have a family, I have a kid. Even though my kid's not going to that school, if I was called up, if that was happening, and I went in there and I got killed trying to stop that guy, that would be the highest honor that I could ever serve for my community, for my family, is that at least I died trying to kill this guy. And I was like,
absolutely. Well, isn't that why you're a cop?
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, that's...
Holy shit. You're talking about a dude that you lift weights with.
Yeah.
And this happened.
And he's younger than me, too. He's like, I think he's...
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And
this happened.
Yeah. And
that's why I don't get it. It's what happened.
I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, that's when our community, I think we have a lot of guys that would not even... And he's the type of dude, I know him, he's the type of dude, if he was there, if he showed up and there was guys telling him to stand down, he'd be like, no.
What are you going to do, shoot me?
Yeah, exactly. And he would be like, anybody else that has a set of balls on you,
yeah,
stack on me, let's move.
Can I get a weapon?
I mean, and that's just the type of person he is. And you know what, he grew up in a cop family, his old man was a cop and stuff, great, he's a great dude too, but his old man would be the same exact way, like, I don't give a shit. Like,
well, I mean, there's a ton of people that, there's a lot of people that are...
And he's a sheriff's deputy.
There's a lot of people that are pretty irresponsible with firearms.
There are.
But there's, a lot of even just regular civilian people that are pretty good about, keeping your muzzle...
Awareness?
Oriented in a safe direction, most of the time, and... because of hunting and walking around and whatnot.
Most of the people in our community, yeah.
You'd think that some regular folks could even go in there and stop one gunman.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I mean...
Don't you... I think...
If I was in that place, dude, if I happened to drive by and witness something like that, it would not sit right on my conscience to just keep driving by.
I would hope that I would have the balls to go in there and gun that man down.
Yeah, even if it weren't my kids, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, those are still the future of our community, the future of our world, dude.
And maintain the awareness to not let one go astray either.
Well, and that's where practicing it. See, and that's where I'm all about owning firearms, having them, be responsible with them, and part of being a responsible firearm owner is to freaking get the training and go out and fire that. Hone your skill. Get it to where hey, when I pull this trigger, I'm 100% confident that it is going to where I want it to go.
Yeah.
Or at least maybe an inch or two out of, right? You can hone that skill. Look at freaking actors can go do it for movies.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I
You
mean, like
can-
actually, if you look on YouTube, like
There's tons of stuff.
Keanu Reeves.
Oh
and,
yeah, John Wick.
that other the gal, I can't remember who was on it with him.
Oh, I can't recall, but she was.
Anyway.
They were doing that course, the
A beautiful woman.
pistol, shotgun, rifle course,
Beautiful
whatever that is.
woman. There are videos on YouTube of those guys going through a course just.
Yeah, and you can do that too. You can learn. You can do this stuff too. And if you're a firearm owner, like I said, part of being a responsible firearm owner is learning how to shoot, knowing knowing your target, what lies beyond it. Also, so you're not punching holes through stuff and hitting somebody on the other side. You know that you don't want to hit.
Right.
So, yeah, you can absolutely do that. And that's, I believe, like, the whole defund the police thing was absolutely ridiculous. If anything, they need more funding. Because I would like to see, okay, if you really can't hit a target, or I shouldn't say can't hit a target. I think the firearm qualification courses should be a little bit more stricter. And that will force our officers to be a lot more tighter of shots, right?
Hey,
and theoretically,
you're talking about a lot of police departments over.
Hey, man, you know what? The military does it all the time, though. Those combat units. If you're in a combat unit in the Army or the Marine Corps, the Navy or Air Force, you're out there shooting all the time, doing ranges all the time, and it's to hone your skill. You're using different types of weapons, whatever you gotta do.
When you are functioning,
Secret Service agents do it all the time.
When you are functioning in a combat unit, as you know, I would have meant you were,
Yeah, I was in a combat unit.
Well, I know that, but you were in the, lower enlisted ranks.
Yeah.
For a lot of it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
How many
For all of it.
times do you go to the range every week, let's say?
Oh, I wouldn't say every week, but we were doing range for our build-up for our deployments. We were doing ranges maybe a couple times a month. You know what I mean? Going out doing. Anytime we were out going on a field op, you were hitting range. You were guaranteed to hit range once or twice, maybe 3 times.
To just fire.
I've been
just fire a bunch of rounds.
Yeah, getting your rounds on target, making sure your weapons zeroed and stuff, and
make sure that you can hit
what
targets.
you're aiming at. Yeah, making sure you're doing what you're doing. There's other ranges where they have you maneuvering by fire with other units and stuff, so you have guys coming up. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's a lot of really cool training, good stuff. If you're into that type of stuff. But we were shooting all the time. I mean, there was one range. It was a field op. It was like 2 weeks long. I think we did like 4 or 5 ranges on that 2-week period. Or I'm sorry. 6 or 7 ranges. Yeah, I take that back. Yeah, firing ranges. Yeah, there was unknown distance. There's night ranges. We were hiking to one areas and then doing ranges and stuff, which,
what you're
clean
doing,
your
right?
weapon. Yeah, and that I'm like, hey, this is what we signed up for. You know what I mean? So you're constantly cleaning your weapon. We also did one range where we did these sim rounds on a urban environment. So they were 9mm like paint gun rounds that you could just switch the upper receiver of your M4, M16. And then you have this little paintball gun. It's freaking sweet. It's your
AR-15
rifle
platform?
Yeah, they're sweet. And yeah, that was
like deer hunting.
So when you get hit, yeah, you got hit, right? Ding. Okay. Right.
Switch the upper.
Yep, just switch
there
the
you
upper,
go.
and you had different magazines. You load these little 9mm sim rounds in. There was blue paint, pink paint. So blue team, pink team. It was cool. It was good training, and like I said, I'm all for that for officers and stuff. And it sucks that we live in a day and age where that they have to have the ability to be drawing their weapons and shooting that straight all the time and stuff. But you know what?
Carrying a weapon around all the time, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Good stuff to know how to do.
well, yeah, and hey, we live in Iowa. We have our concealed carry, our constitutional carry. It was concealed carry, now it's constitutional. So if you're out there carrying a weapon in Iowa or any other state, learn how to use it. You should be going to the range, at least a couple times a month. Once every couple months at least. And I'm guilty of it as well. That I should be hitting the range more often, and it's getting harder.
Likewise.
But here's where the other thing, You can start reloading and stuff, but whatever. We kind of went off on a super huge tangent, but it kind of segues into this. The police aren't always going to be there to help you. You should be able to learn to be able to help yourself, no matter what community you're living in.
There you go. That's exactly what it's about.
You know.
That's why it ties in.
Self-defense, in my personal opinion, self-defense, your right to be alive is the number one biggest right that you have.
Individual self-defense.
Yeah. Your own personal liberties of you being alive should be your number one priority.
Numero uno.
And you have kids, and the situation always dictates with that, but, if I was out by myself, I'm making sure I survive. If I'm with my kids and something happens or whatever, my spouse, I'm making sure they're going to survive over me, even if it has to sacrifice my life for it. But, your right to self-defense is more important than other people being scared of, having guns.
Yeah.
Sorry, we didn't mean to get on that rant, but here we are.
Here we are. Well, know how to use them so that if this happens in your community, you can react faster than over an hour.
Right. And get to know your local police too. I have a couple neighbors that are officers and stuff, and they're good dudes. And why not meet some of the people that are out there protecting your community?
Well, get to know them.
Yeah, because there's a lot of great guys out there. So far, I really haven't. I've only met one that was really kind of like, dude, you're just kind of a d-bag.
Well, hey,
but
police are no different.
Yeah, there's ones and twos everywhere.
There's whatever ratios of people that are there to.
Yeah, I go to church,
do damage
with a bunch of police officers and
seek
stuff.
Power, and they can do bad things. But a lot of police are really good, and
all the ones that I've ever met are stand-up guys. They're doing it because they want to make a difference in their community. There are a few of them that are veterans, right? They served their country, they got out, and and I thought about doing that too, but I'm really glad that I didn't.
Why is that?
I just don't think it would have been for me.
Pulling people over and going to people's houses all the time.
Well, my views changed quite a bit too after I had that thought, and like I said, I don't really agree with like pulling people over and searching their vehicles. Like I that's me personally, and that's dangerous for the officers too. That's endangering their life.
Yeah, that's a legitimate.
But at the same time, then you have your ones and twos. Well, if they hadn't searched Ted Bundy's vehicle, they wouldn't have known he was on the way to go commit a murder.
Well, I mean,
because they found all this weird stuff in there.
Yeah, Ted Bundy is an extreme example.
Yeah, it's not like we read about him.
Yep. You always wish you could have done things different, whether or not it's, stubbing your toe, walking through your living room on the coffee table, or murdering, 20 or 30 women like the Green River Killer in Washington. Yeah. That's an extreme example and something that people like to throw out all the time.
Right. It's, people, for some reason, like to use extreme examples to dictate a lot of stupid shit.
I'm guilty of it myself. I think we all are to a certain extent, right? And you got to learn over time to try to stop using the words never so much, right?
Never have I ever.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, but anyway, so back to Uvalde. Really a shame. It's a terrible tragedy. It's even more tragic that the police department acted in the way that they did. And I really think we can do better. And hey, if you're out there and you think you want to do a difference and make a difference and you think you can do better as a police officer in the police, or your sheriff's department, go at it. By all means. I mean, they're always looking for good people.
You'll get it.
Like I said, I got friends on the sheriff's department. My brother-in-law actually works for the sheriff's department.
I have noticed around here that our sheriff's department is constantly looking for people, and
Yeah.
For some reason, I think that we're a lot better off than other places.
We really are, and our sheriff out here is pretty legit.
They look, I don't know. They probably look for better people,
Yeah, and I mean, in all honesty, every sheriff that I've ever encountered, or sheriff's deputy that I've ever encountered, has been really down to earth, just legitimate.
Always pretty straightforward.
Straightforward, yeah. They're not trying to play games. Like, hey, this is what we're doing.
I've always tried to use the tactic that, whatever you're doing, whether you're young doing something stupid or old and doing something stupid,
just be respectful.
And if you get caught, just take your time.
Yep, take it like a man. Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
I got a funny story about that. I know a guy doing 80 and a 65. Gets pulled over by a sheriff's deputy. Sheriff's deputy tells him he was going 80, but said, I'm going to cut you a ticket for 72, cut you some slack. So what does he do? Gives the deputy shit.
Yeah, why would you do that? Because you were speeding.
Yeah.
You were
Caught
going
red-handed.
80.
And he was going to cut you a ticket, so what? He was cutting you a break so that you're getting a ticket still because you were speeding, but I'm going to cut you a break because it's not going to cost as much.
He was going 80. I mean, was he going 80? Was the deputy right?
Yeah, he admitted to me that he was going 80, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the deputy was correct.
And complained that he knocked it down to a 72. Wow.
He didn't even complain. The deputy was just cutting him, just being a nice guy. And then he wanted to give, I want to see the radar.
I mean, if you're going 80, that's pretty fast,
Well, yeah, and a 70 or 65.
You just expect to get pulled over by the police.
Especially if you pass one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what happened. Okay.
Isn't that natural?
This is...
How long have you been alive?
Yeah, the roads, see, the speed limits are made for a reason. The roads are only rated for a certain speed limit because once you start getting enough weight moving at a certain amount of speed on those roads, that's pushing everything underneath that road. Okay, everything shifts.
All right.
It's not asphalt and concrete is pretty cool, but it's not magic. So that's why they have certain speed limits on.
That's a long conversation there.
Yeah, it is. Anyway.
You should probably be able to do 75 in eastern Montana.
Well, as long as the roads are rated for that, yeah, absolutely. Just like you can't drive a certain certain amount of weight over a bridge, right?
Well, you would think that the roads should be fucking shit tight.
By now.
Because this is fucking America, and that's how you fucking build roads.
And if they have Roman concrete, then they still can't figure out where the Coliseum is still hardening in places.
No.
Yeah, look it up.
And they what?
How come we can't figure the fuck out? Anyways.
Where are we at?
We gotta wrap it up. Moral of the story. Uvalde Police Department. A lot of failures on a lot of levels there. Tragic. Doesn't mean we should ban guns. Just saying.
Oh.
On top of that, you should go get a gun and you should learn how to use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can protect yourself, protect your family.
They are powerful tools.
Yes, and that's all it is a tool. And just like any other tool, guess what? Hammers can do a lot of damage to a human body.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You're not kidding.
And that's a tool.
Just watch Casino.
Yeah, and get on the FBI website. There's a lot of deaths related to. I know a gal that she witnessed dude across the street found his old lady cheating on him, so he took a hammer to her boyfriend's head in front of the house, in front of everybody. Needless to say, he didn't make it.
Brought him down
to the ground.
Wow.
So, it's a tool you can use. Learn how to use it. Be efficient with it. If these actors can do it, and we can do it too, okay? They're not superhuman. They're just actors. They just learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway.
Especially if you make that investment.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Because they They cost money.
It does cost money.
Firearms
Ammo costs money. You can learn how to reload, save yourself some money. You know, there's things you can do. It's a great hobby. You know.
Absolutely.
Anyway, well, I think this is it for today.
For today?
Iowatalk, guys. We'll catch you guys later.
Out!